Hi, my name is Amber Budden. I'm the Associate University Librarian for Digital Strategies at the University of California, Santa Barbara. And I'm here representing the DataONE team to provide an overview of DataONE and talk a little bit about the services that are offered through DataONE that are of value to organizations, to research groups, or to networks such as yourselves. So DataONE federates research data across a global community of over 50 member repositories in order to make data more discoverable, more accessible, and reusable. Over 83 terabytes of data is immediately downloadable through DataONE, with a significantly higher total volume of data represented by the 840,000 datasets that are discoverable through DataONE. Now, these data have been downloaded over 17 million times, and you can learn more about the network and the data using the links that are provided. DataONE comprises a broad cross-section of ecological, environmental, and earth science data, including biodiversity data, and over 1,500 datasets associated with Hymenoptera, for example. Discovery, exploration, and download of these data is accessible to all, and it leverages the partnership that we have with the member node repositories, a network which we are continuously growing. And so with that in mind, if there is a repository with data that is valuable to your research that's not currently partnered with DataONE, please do let us know and we'll reach out to them about partnering. You can enhance your search results by adding more free text expressions, but also using the faceted search feature to refine the results. For example, by the year of data collection, or by choosing only those records where the data is available for immediate or direct download. In other cases, you may need to contact the authors per the specifications that they have included in their metadata. We also have an option for taxon, but to be honest, this isn't as frequently used as we would like. People tend to put taxonomic information in other places in the metadata record. So using the free text expression will result in a greater search, if not as precise. When you've identified a record of interest, for example, these data on bee species abundance in New Mexico, clicking on the title brings you to the full metadata page and provides options for individual file or complete packet download. From here, you can expand the list of files to be able to view all of them. And scrolling down, you will see file level metadata, such as the general abstract, keywords, publication date, and points of contact. You can also navigate directly to the metadata associated with a single data file. And in this case, we can see that the SEVB data revised has a number of columns or attributes, including month, year, ecosystem, transect, etc. Selecting any of these attributes enables you to see the associated metadata. And for example, there are 3 ecosystems, and these have been coded as B, C, and G to reflect plains, shrubland, and grassland. Other notable features available from the dataset landing page include data usage metrics, information on metadata quality, and a quick citation link. DataONE partnered with the Make Data Count project to capture and present data usage metrics that are counter compliant, meaning that the counts are standardized and bots and rapid repeat downloads are excluded. And we display these metrics in an interactive timeline. And the same is true for views as opposed to downloads of the data. In the case of citations, if a paper or another set had cited this record, it would appear here as a traditional citation, including an active link to the object. If a citation is new and has not yet been indexed, you are able to manually contribute citations. And we are aware that many authors have less familiarity in how to cite a dataset as opposed to citing a publication. And for that reason, we make it easy as possible to provide appropriate attribution to a dataset by providing this quick citation link. In the case of metadata quality, each record is evaluated against a series of checks to provide guidance on how complete the metadata are. Now, these checks are part of a suite that has been developed across various working groups to assess the fairness of the metadata, that is, how findable, accessible, interoperable, and reusable the metadata are. And finally, one feature that aids tremendously in the reproducibility of research is the display of provenance information. Data authors can upload their code and analysis outputs as well as the data and build links between them to enable reuse of not just the data but the full analysis. Now, I should say that not all records will have this display, as motivating the community to provide this additional provenance metadata is a work in progress. Everything that I have just highlighted reflects the core of DataONE, developed with funding support from the NSF and is freely available to all. As part of the DataONE sustainability plan, this decades-long investment in the infrastructure running DataONE is now available in new ways with new services for research networks, field stations, and others in order to highlight research data that's specific to their work. And so in the remainder of this talk, I'm going to provide a high-level overview of two DataONE services, DataONE Plus and hosted repositories. Now, these new services have been designed to meet the needs of research teams and organizations, and they reflect the product of ongoing community engagement in DataONE. So DataONE Plus provides an opportunity to create collections of data within themed portals, collating data sets that span the DataONE network. And that means whether the data are in EDI or Dryad or USGS or KNB, they can all be viewed at a single location, and the criteria for inclusion are defined by you. For a field station, such as Tulik shown here, that might be a bounding box reflecting the field site location, or a search term with the field site name, or even a combination of these and other criteria. Now, data portals include all of the tried and tested features that are appreciated by the DataONE community, including, for example, provenance trace and usage metrics. This example is from a group of researchers and community members that are interested in understanding the abundance and distribution of salmon. In addition to defining which datasets get included in the portal, through our intuitive user interface, you can also customize the way in which users search for data when they're on the portal. So in this example from the State of Alaska's Salmon and People project, users can search within specific metadata fields across a variety of categories. For example, by geography, by species, or by theme. And within a category, they can refine by the axes of fish productivity or habitat, etc. So what I'm going to do now is just show you that back end and use an example of the Bee Research Network. So once you've logged in, you have the opportunity to take a look at your portals. I have a lot of them because on the DataONE side of things, you won't have so many, and you'll have the option to create a new portal. I've gone ahead and started this for the native bee RCN. So if we take a look at the back end, take a look at the data option, first of all, the data that we are exposing right now is empty, is because we haven't defined the criteria for inclusion. So just as we did on the front page, we can choose to look for Hymenoptera. And in doing so, we now have a population of data. We can choose to add additional rules. For example, if we're interested in only a certain date, we can confine or constrict the records available within a particular date range. But we can also choose to make that an option for the researchers that are interested in using our portal. So for example, up here, this is where I was showing that SASAB has fish productivity and habitat. We can choose to add a date search, which enables our users to refine the search. So for example, date published, I'm going to give it a title, and I'm going to leave this between 1800 and 2023 and save that as is. I've also included some information on family. So now if I go ahead and save my portal, I have the option of viewing it. And you'll see here on the data page, we have all of those records that had Hymenoptera, but we also have the opportunity to refine our date using the slider or typing in some dates. Oops. And so now we're just looking at those records between 2000 and 2023. And then I can also choose to select a particular family, and it refines that further down to 12 records. So this way of building a portal is really quite intuitive and quite simple. And if you have interest in doing so as part of this research collaboration network, please feel free to reach out to us and we can assist you in that. And I can go ahead and add relevant parties as administrators on this test one. Okay, so the last thing that I wanted to talk about was the hosted repository. So all of the features that I just mentioned of data portals are also available within the hosted repository service. And the difference is that rather than publishing data to another repository platform, such as KNB, with the hosted repository service, DataONE will stand up and operate a branded data repository for your organization. As you can see, users have the option to submit data up here. And this hosted repository leverages the same software that is used by DataONE, that's used by the Arctic Data Center, ESS Dive, KNB, and others, and is an extremely cost-effective means of preserving data collections from field stations or other groups. And the repository will also be a part of the DataONE network, which, as I mentioned, increases accessibility and discovery by the broader community. And so with that, I would like to thank you for your time. And if you do have any questions, you can reach out to me, or you can reach out to support@dataone.org, and either myself, Dave, Matt, or Carl, or other members of the leadership team will be able to respond to you. Thanks so much for your time.